Okay, Bismillah, let us look at more examples of this definite integral with a boundary, and we are supposed to use the U-substitution. Just now, when we are to integrate and then we are to use the technique of a U-substitution, we need to change the boundary of this x in terms of the U. Okay, like question A for the start. We cannot integrate straight away, right? So we need to simplify by letting this inside composite function to become the U and accordingly differentiate, changing our dx. Dx is du over 3. Okay, so it's 1/3 of du. And then we need to change the boundary as well in terms of the u, because this is the boundary of the x. So when x is 0, the u will become 4 plus 0, which is 4. When the x is 7, the u will become 4 plus 21, which is 25. So we need to change everything in terms of the u. Right, and then this is u power half. We integrate u power half, so we have u power half plus 1, which is 3/2 over 3/2. Okay, and how do we get the 26? We substitute u with the upper boundary and minus the u with the substitute it as the lower boundary. Okay, substitute the u as 4, and then accordingly we get the 26. Okay, that's how we should do it for definite integral when we are to use technique of substitution. So next, let's look at this question B. You cannot integrate straight away, but we need to simplify. So we say, okay, let u be the x square. Okay, so as we differentiate du dx is 2x. So meaning x dx, as we rearranging it, x dx is du over 2. So hence our question now will become cosine u, and replacing the x dx is du over 2. We need to change the boundary as well. When x is 0, the lower boundary, the u will become 0. For the upper boundary, when x is square root of pi, the u will become square root of pi square, which is the pi. We need to change the boundary as well. Okay, so this is incomplete work. Let us integrate. So what is the integral of cosine? Look into our formula list. So this should be the complete work. Okay, integrating cosine, looking into your formula. This is sine, and then replace the upper boundary, sine pi is 0, minus the lower boundary, sine 0 is 0. So the last answer is 0. Right? So let's discuss question C. Okay, here in this question, it mentioned u being x square. I'm going to redo this again, such that I would like to set the u to be negative x square. Because I think it's easier if you set the u to be negative x square instead of giving your answer like this. Alright, let's redo this question C together. So we set this thing to be u because I want later on the answer to be as e power u. Okay, e power u. So we need to replace x dx is du over 2. Let's put the 2 outside. Negative, right? So, and we need to change the boundary as well. The lower boundary, as x is 0, the u is 0. The upper boundary, when x is 1, there's a negative outside of this x square. We carry negative 1. Then it's easy for us to integrate. This is what I want. Right, so here when we are to integrate e power u du is an easy e power u. Yeah, for the boundary again 0 to negative 1, and then we replace the u with the upper boundary minus the u with the lower boundary. Let me write. So there, as we replace it, okay, because I think it's easier to integrate this time around. Right, so let's simplify it. This is 1 on e power 0, anything power 0 is 1. Right, and you can expand this, or you can just leave it as is, or you can expand the negative and make it nicer. You do this as positive, negative, put it inside, so you have to read as like this. It looks nicer. Right? Okay, last question, this one. So what will be, definitely we have to use a U-substitution. Okay, sometimes it works, sometimes it does not. Like this one, let's try it. Let's say the inner function to be ln x, so du dx, derivative of the ln x is 1 on x, so it's easy. So then you can see such that du is actually dx on x. Okay, you can replace that dx on x, which is the du. Right. So this question will now becomes, let's write it down, dx on x is du, nice, and here we have 1 over, we take the radical of this inside function being u. Let's rearranging it, so this is like negative of du. We need to change the boundary as well. Let us find the boundary. We change the boundary in terms of u. Okay, this one. So let's take this. The u is ln x, so ln e value is 1. So we have 4 for the upper boundary, and then for the lower boundary, x is e, so u is ln e is 1. So the lower boundary is 1. You need to change the boundary as well before you are to integrate. Okay, then we can nicely integrate using our basic formula. So negative half plus 1 plus 2 on 2, so which is half over half. Okay, we fixed 1 on 2 for the boundary of 1 to 4 just now. So as we simplify, this is actually a square root. Okay, so let's replace 4 minus replace the lower boundary 1. So that is our answer. Alright, that's it from me. Okay, thank you.